For one final time to wrap up the 2018-19 season and the 2019 Calder Cup playoffs here in Condors Town. We're here at the Rabobank Arena as I am joined by Ryan Holt, the voice of the Condors. Ryan, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
Ryan, the exit interviews were held today here at the Rabobank Arena. Just wanted to maybe get your thoughts on some of the takeaways, and you said you really liked what Keegan Lowe had to say.
Yeah, I think Keegan Lowe said it best. It's the worst day of the year. There's such a finality to the end of the season. Today would have been Game 7 here for the Pacific Division Finals. It's not. It's the last time those 30 guys and the coaching staff are going to be all together as one unit. There's certainly a core of this team that's coming back. There's a core up front, on the blue line, between the pipes, but at the end of the day, it's the last time that this group will get together, and it's a group that met back in October for day one, and they carried it over here through all the way almost to June.
Ryan, with all the players and including head coach Jay Woodcroft, there was one common theme throughout the day, and that was the camaraderie in that locker room, the vibes in the locker room, how much fun they had coming to the rink. You were with this team all season, Ryan. Maybe share some of your experiences firsthand.
I think the togetherness of this team really had them excel and maybe even to an extent overachieve this season. You look at the roster and you look at how young a lot of this core is, and certainly getting together with the veterans and being able to provide that cohesiveness was key, but that happened early on this year, and it only strengthened as this year went along and as the team faced adversity entering the postseason. So can't say enough good things about the way the team came together and how that togetherness really amplified the season and made it a historic season here in Condors Town.
You talked about the young players, especially at the early stages of the season, but let's talk about a couple of young players that joined the team late in the season, that in the Calder Cup playoffs, Evan Bouchard and Ryan McLeod. What were your first thoughts of them in pro hockey, and what do you expect from them moving forward?
Well, first and foremost, for them to join not only this team, but join the Calder Cup playoff run, be thrown into AHL professional hockey and at the highest level in the Calder Cup playoffs speaks volumes to both of them. And they both had success, and they both did it in different ways. Bouchard was able to get his feet wet a little bit early on, was a power play specialist, if you will, in that Colorado series, and then was able to find his game certainly in the San Diego series as, he had 8 points in 8 games. And the thing I like about his game is he finds ways to get shots through. It's not just, what we call the Bouch bomb. He scored in the San Diego last game in Game 6 with a wrist shot from the blue line. Ryan McLeod comes in, has a ton of speed up front, a natural centerman who wins faceoffs, who's good in the circle, and who's getting more and more responsible in his own defensive end. And for two 19-year-olds to come in and do what they did in the Calder Cup playoffs only bodes well for the future for both of them.
Now, focusing on Bouchard and the rest of the D-core here, when talking to Ken Holland over the past week, he said a real strength in this organization is on the back end. Guys like William Legason, guys like Caleb Jones. How much prosperity do you see in front of these guys and the potential for growth heading into training camp in September?
Where are you going to play all of them? That's my question. Yeah. You look at Lagesson and Jones and Brar. Keegan Lowe does such a good job as a veteran on the back end as well, too, along with Ryan Stanton this year and what they've meant to that back six. Logan Day had a fantastic season this year on an AHL contract. And you mentioned guys like Bouchard coming in, Samar Rukov's coming in, just a wealth of defensive prospects back there on the blue line. Guys that are going to push for jobs in Edmonton next year, and guys who are going to start here in Bakersfield and eventually make their way to Edmonton certainly next season.
And that defensive group joins players like Cooper Marody and Tyler Benson up front. Definitely players that Oilers fans will watch over the summer and heading into Oilers main camp. But Ryan Holt, we're glad that you joined us here today on Oilers TV for one final time at Rabobank Arena. For Ryan Holt, I'm Tony Brar, and we'll see you at Oilers main camp.